Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. And so continues the War of Ages. Last time on War of Ages. The Coterie was welcomed by Lucida and Anatole and agreed to let the duo continue their mysterious digging around Tihuța Pass. Zorion recalled his past infatuations with Lucida and settled up with his soldiers, offering them a generous dark bargain. Kupala reached out to Catrinel, declaring his corrupt intentions for the Coltun. In response, the Coterie expressed their intention of defiance. Nights pass, and here, amidst the bones of this tower, overlooking a pass that leads to and from the east, there are 5 villages that you use to sustain yourself, to find workers and people for your agents to interact with in the area. And among these people, there are all manner of stories about the things that exist in the woods. The spirits who become angered by whatever sickness it is that has taken hold of the region. And deep-rooted into their being is an unspoken understanding regarding the people who come in the night and quietly rule over them from the bones of that tower at the cliff's edge. For the first time during your journey, you begin to experience faces that become familiar, people that reside here and become familiar with your faces. For you, this is a small comfort, but for the men who have traveled with you, worn and weary from the difficulties of the road, from the terror of gargoyles and raging Bruja, this is a certain solace. And as the group of you begin to rise one at a time to greet each other and exchange more stories and become more familiar with one another, to pressure and tease and challenge each other in your night-to-night affairs, you find a trio of men-at-arms wearing their armor, seemingly having gathered a few meager supplies and are prepared for a journey. And with them, having gathered around them, as over a dozen of the village folk who seem frightened but look upon this trio with a certain sense of wonder and hope that they likely have not experienced for a long time. And at the heart of this trio, a handsome man carrying sharpened weapons with a pensive expression that you have not seen on him before, is Diego.
Diego, my friend. It must have been a busy day. It seems that you are ready to go to war.
It has, my lord. And regrettably, I am. Ambrose gives a sort of solemn nod.
And you, Dario?
Dario gives a shrug. They're going to need me, my lord.
And what's all this about? Catrinel is getting into the room and seeing the gathering.
Out of turn, a woman shouts, "Changelings! My boy replaced with sticks and stones!"
That catches Saeed's ears. She hasn't finished combing her hair yet, but she pokes her head out of her room at talk of the fair folk so far from Ireland. What do you mean?
Ambrose approaches the group. This morning, a maiden from the southern village. She has gone missing, and a number of children are gone, replaced by these small wooden effigies. The locals think that this is some sort of sign that the children have been gone for some time now, and that an angry spirit of the woods took them. And Diego speaks up, and so they have turned to knights.
So Saeed happens to have a dot of Lorfey.
Yep.
Is this, does this sound like changeling things, or does this sound like angry forest spirit things? Because they are not the same.
Give me an intelligence fairy lore. I will leave the difficulty at 6 due to the reference to children being stolen and replaced by changelings.
Does my intelligence spec of problem solver count?
No, this is more of a knowledge question than you trying to figure out a solution.
Right. I am going to spend a willpower on this.
Go for it.
5 successes.
The dice know.
So, in your time in Ireland, there have been men who have come from all over the world to engage in Dublin slave trade. Many stories come to and from, and many tales tend to be similar enough to each other that it starts to kind of feel like maybe this is the story of how they interact with these fae. And it is known to you that Romania is home to a handful of sorts of fae. The Allel come to mind, who are usually more like wild maidens of the woods who develop a thing for young, strong, strapping man heroes and kind of just do the things that fae do in that area. But also, there are the Zemu, who are draconic in nature and wrathful and exist in, at times, opposition to men. And there is enough diversity here that you can kind of see that what they're talking about may very well be one of the Fae. And stealing children and replacing them with these animated sticks and stone effigies is a thing that the Fae have done in other places. You've probably even heard of instances where things like that happen, especially regions touched by Rome. A lot of fairy stories tend to develop in areas that the Roman Empire had contact with.
So Saif seems to tilt her head for a second as she looks at the 3 armed retainers. And she reaches back into her room to grab her staff, and she comes out using her hand to try and make some sense of her hair. And she knows she's not coming out looking particularly like an authority on anything. But she comes out to look at Ambrose and Dario and Diego and the crowd assembled. So I know a thing or two about the fair folk. If this is as you say, and it does sound like it is as you say, then it probably shouldn't be young men going in after it. If it's an allele, they're trying to suck the young men away.
Dario smirks.
The allele will seduce young men, and yes, they'll make them better heroes, but I don't know that that's exactly what we need at the moment. Or it could be a Zemu, which just seeks battle with heroes. And I don't see how either of those things is going to help us get the children back.
They look at you as though you have said some of the most exciting words that they have heard in their lives. Save for Diego, who actually takes on kind of like a glower, but not meant for you. I too have some familiarity with the Fae. When I was young, untrained, before I had ever seen war, I lost a sister to the Lamiak.
I'm sorry.
As a knight, as a man who was sworn to protect, I cannot leave the people of these villages to the same fate that I suffered. A lifetime denied a relationship with my sister, knowing that whatever has happened to her has happened, and I was unable to do anything about it.
Saif pauses for a second and considers what he said. I suppose then that I don't mean to stop anyone. The children need to be rescued. But I want to make sure everyone going knows exactly what they're getting into.
Catrinel's expression had hardened at Diego's words, and she looks sidelong to Saif, listening as she speaks, and says, "And do you have then suggestions for how best to move forward?"
It depends on how you want to go about getting the children back, I suppose. If the children are taken and are now of the Fae, then they... She doesn't want to say they aren't yours anymore, or they aren't all yours anymore.
Perhaps we have a quick meeting before this party goes off. If your men, Zorion, would accompany us to another room.
My vinculados.
They turn to look to you.
People of this land. He kind of turns to the villagers. We will endeavor to do everything we can to return your children to you. But remember, this pass is controlled by Lady Catrinel. And he sweeps a hand toward Catrinel.
She dips her head slightly, straightening. The ghost of a smile for Zorion.
And she is a wise and merciful ruler who wants to make sure this is done correctly and intelligently. Give us a moment to formulate a plan of action, and this will be done.
Give me a charisma leadership roll.
4 successes.
You do seem to inspire the group to trust the process, and they will cooperate. There's kind of this, like, almost nervous waving to Diego as they depart. You're not sure what's going on there, but it really does seem like a lot of these villagers have clung to Diego in particular in a very short period of time. But people depart and leave the group of you to your business.
I will see that some of my regular men-at-arms and some of the castle's attendants, I'm assuming we have a few working here now, probably also from Anatole and Lucita's entourage. I'll give a few quick orders just to make sure that the people are seen to and given hospitality while within the walls.
Yeah, they get right to it.
Thank you, Zorion. Now we can get to the ugly realities that we need to.
Let us not forget that you are to be prince here.
It's always nice to remember.
Does the term prince suit your liking?
I suppose there are options.
Consider it. You do not need to answer tonight.
There's something more important.
Indeed.
Saif.
Saif is wrapping her long hair around her wrist again. She seems to have picked up a nervous habit.
I must say, what Diego says is true. I know very little of the Fey folk, but his sister was stolen away when we were young. And by all accounts, it was indeed a Lamiak.
It's the children that are stolen. They can't always come back. What they've become is just not meant to survive in a world without the dreams of the fair folk. And so to bring them back is to damn them. A death sentence.
Roland steps forward into the circle that's talking to Saif's left and Zorion's right, and looks down at her. Then if I am hearing you correctly, if we cannot save the children, as the villagers have asked of us, we need to ensure that this thing does not take any others.
Something should be arranged with the local fair folk that those under our protection are not to be trifled with.
Roland looks up over at Zorion's 3 men and looks directly at Diego. Then if you would permit me, as a knight, I feel compelled to aid you in your quest.
Diego speaks up as the man who has somehow become the leader among the mortals regarding this. They say that this spirit is green of skin and black of heart, that a blow that would fell any man does not deter it. We would be grateful if you would lend us your fury.
Roland clasps a fist over his heart and does a bowing salute as one knight to another, not a Cainite to a ghoul.
The Italian of the group opens his cloak just a little bit, revealing a sharpened hunk of iron. With you, I am confident it will die.
Roland looks at Saif when he reveals the iron. He trusts that she knows, and for all Roland knows, Dario's just superstitious. So he is checking in with her. Is this a real thing, or is this just an old wives' tale? Like, I need your guidance.
Does Saif know that that is soul death for a Fey creature? Or does she just know it will kill them?
You know that the Fey fear it and that it will kill them.
Okay.
And kind of quickly get the impression that this man is down to fight dirty. For him to have acquired and sharpened a weapon like this before sundown, finding out there's a problem,
Yep.
It says a lot about him.
As Roland looks at Saif, she is staring at the hunk of iron that has been sharpened with no question of what the intent is behind it. She looks equal parts aghast and shocked. I'm gonna ask you not to use that unless there's absolutely no other option.
So it is effective.
They fear it tremendously, and it does do them harm, but the way they fear it, it's not just because it harms them. The fear they have for that is... there's something different about why they fear that.
Is it as flame to the Cainite?
Or silver to lupines.
Sybil.
I assume we're not we should probably send somebody who actually knows something about the Fae, if we're going to talk to them at all.
I mean, do we just crave an outing?
I mean, I get out plenty.
I can go. It's just going to slow everything down.
I mean, if any Cainite go with them, typically it'll slow them down.
I'm willing to go. I would see as little harm done from this as possible. On both sides, I would rather make allies out of this than enemies.
My fear, Saif, is if we allow this thing to continue unabated after it has already stolen away the children of the villages, if it becomes our ally, the villagers become our enemies.
Let us be clear. All of the signs of a Fae are present. It does not mean that there is a Fae present.
It could be one of Alexios' clan, stealing infants from their cradles.
There is a sickness in this land. We know this.
And the people of this land deserve to feel that their children are safe, or at least as safe as we can make them.
So we should send Sayiv, as she is the one who knows the most about the Fae. But we must also look to see if it is actually one of these beings. Or perhaps a ruse by the evil that infects this land.
I don't know how to tell the difference. I know what it looks like when it's Fae.
Catrinel, your coldonism knows how to look at the land, yes?
There is a way for me to take a look around, but I'm not certain if I'll be able to see the area which they speak of. I can certainly try, though.
Then it sounds to me that we have 2 delegations that will be sent, riding out into this land. Myself, Saif, and Catrinel, to determine what the actual cause is, and then perhaps a delegation of those willing to bring violence, which I would include my men, Roland, and perhaps Alexios.
Except perhaps the children are with those who wish to do violence, and I would like violence to be a last resort, not a first. I would like to be able to speak to these Fae.
I would rather we go in to learn first, but I would go with a very big sword in case it means to fight.
Well, your man has cold iron. That's about as big a sword as you've got.
That is why I trust Dario very much. He always seems to know how to bring the right tool to the right occasion. May I ask, Diego, I sent the 3 of you out to make contact with the villagers. I did not expect you to become a folk hero by the 4th night.
I told him that I am a crusader. It appears that there are still places in the world where that means something. Sad fools they might be. It was nice to hear.
So it sounds like the caretakers need to go out and see what's happening with our people here. We might as well all go as one. There's no reason not to at this point.
And while we're going, I'll check the road. See if there's some opportunity for, I suppose, diplomacy.
And if there's not, there's not.
A consideration Ambrose brings forward. Why not have Diego, Dario, and myself follow in tow? Perhaps an hour or so behind you. And he points to Roland and says, "But you're sworn to protect the lady, yes?
Oui.
You should be there if she is to meet the spirit."
I would not allow it otherwise.
Alexios, you are a man of the road
I spent a good amount of time there.
and of the woods.
That's true.
Can you mark us a trail?
Yeah, I can pretty much do that.
That way, in the event they know of the power of what Dario brings and can sense it, well, your diplomacy is not marred by the weapon we bring.
That's smart.
And should this thing be the thing we think it is, a monster, intent on preying upon these people, he looks to the gathered knights. We be what they think we are.
It will not, whether through word or action, taken by us, be allowed to take another child.
Dario shrugs. This thing has already touched children. Where I come from, it is already to be dead. But if you decide something else, let me know.
There's a flash of agreement across Roland's face, but he keeps it in check.
Catrinel mostly focuses her air of challenge towards Sadhbh at that. Like Roland not saying anything.
Children who are taken to live in the woods aren't always taken there for nefarious reasons. Sometimes they have a better life in the woods, away from the families that hurt them. Not always, but it's not an automatic death sentence where I come from.
He looks down at Sadhbh, his expression softening. From what you have told me in the past, if but 1 or 2 children, 1 or 2 houses have been taken, I could believe this. I do not wish you to get your hopes up, though. If this thing has taken from many houses, many villages, the likelihood of all of those houses, all of those parents, being deserving of their children flying into the woods does not seem to me likely.
No, it's likely not. I'm just saying that we don't know enough yet to condemn or condone.
So we wait and see.
A few hours into the night, a group of you are ready. Horses have been arranged. Where you're headed, the forest is too deep and dark for wagons. There are no roads here. It is not a place that men venture into. And so, gathered at the edge of the woods, how are you arranged?
I've procured a horse for myself, and I believe I have Catrinel.
That would be good, but we could also consider splitting our eyes up. We are the people who can see in the dark.
Zorion also has no trouble seeing in the dark.
Plus, you also might be doing your...
Whoever has
Thingamabob,
me,
right?
I will be absolutely using a Burbesis throne in order to send my senses out through the woods and attempt to get eyes on what this situation even is. So it would be good to have someone who would be looking out for me. My senses are... actually, I should probably just ride with you, considering me being able to see in the dark is being dedicated elsewhere.
That's what I was saying.
Thank you. Readying to be the eyes in the dark, Catrinel's eyes gleam red. Now that the group has entered the mountains of Carpathia, she doesn't need to spend any blood in order to use her Koldunic magics, especially the power of Burbesis' throne. I do need to make the roll, though. It seems reading this I have a choice between sending my senses soaring high or extending them beyond my body. Do I make that choice now or after I know how far my vision might go?
You make that choice on activation.
In that case, I would like to extend them beyond my body. The difficulty is reduced by 2 because it's within my primary Krina. This is a level 1 power, so this should be a difficulty of 3. Two successes. Even with the difficulty level being 3, I got 2 successes. Not ideal, but it's 100 yards. I got a lot of ones.
You extend your senses and can already feel something wrong with the woods. There is this lingering, bitter taste like poison.
Behind you, you can feel a slight discomfort in the way that Catrinel's hand is wrapped around you for stability. That tenseness. She almost licks her lips in the way that someone does when they've tasted something kind of gross that they can't get out of their mouth. There's something off, certainly. I'm not seeing as well as I'd like, but something off here.
Better for us to figure it out and get it hopefully fixed.
Zorion seems ill at ease on a horse. He knows what he's doing. It looks like he's actually has quite a bit of experience with it, but it's just difficult for him to even get on the beast, especially because of the means by which he normally ambulates himself, by the assistance of shadow forms. That makes any horse he approaches very, very uneasy. So earlier when they mounted, it seems as though he has picked one of the older, kind of worn-out horses that's lost a lot of its spunk, probably has seen much better days. And his company has fashioned a unique saddle for him that kind of allows him to pull himself up into the saddle. And once he's there, he actually has to kind of buckle himself in because he just really, his legs lack any kind of natural strength to be able to grip the horse and hold himself on. So he really kind of like has to strap in, and as he's riding with you guys, you could tell he's not comfortable with the situation. If this horse decides to go down, he's back into a spot that he never want it to be again. Do you think this sickness is aware of us?
It tastes toxic. I don't know whether or not it perceives us, but it seems, at least to me, that it's embedded. That whatever's wrong has lingered here.
As they talk, Sadhbh will heighten her sense of sight, and at Catrinel's discussion about how the air tastes, she will heighten her sense of smell and see if it's something that just Catrinel can pick up on, or if it's something that others can sense as well.
With heightened senses, there doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary, safer. You notice that, like, the trees are showing signs of disease, but it isn't anything that stands out as supernatural.
Disease like it's got parasites on it, or like it's withering from the ground, or...
Like, trees can contract diseases, and sometimes that comes in the form of discoloration of bark, problems with leaves, etc. And you're just noticing that there is a lot of that kind of discoloration, odd shapes in terms of like branches and roots. There's just something unhealthy about the land.
I don't detect what you're tasting, Catrinel, but the trees don't look well.
Perhaps that could be it.
But we have children to find.
Yes.
This thing, Roland says, fully in armor, with his helmet on, astride Violentu with Sadhbh. Violentu also has his armor on, and Roland sort of looks down at Sadhbh in front of him on the horse. Do you think it would be at the heart of the forest?
My real thought is that if it wants us to find it, we're gonna find it.
I'll direct my eyes ahead of our path then. Just if it chooses to stand before us.
Then nowhere forward but in. He looks around at his companions.
If perhaps we end up not finding anything, Sadhbh, perhaps you would point out more and more trees suffering this affliction.
I can do that. Lex, what would be signs? What would be the indication of where this fae might take residence?
You don't know.
That's kind of what I figured.
Well, nothing to do but go. He'll just start going.
For now, take the route that's easiest for the horses.
Roland...
Super blind.
Yes. But we'll move into the vanguard anyways.
I appreciate that you decided to dress for a heavy cavalry charge, but perhaps let Alexios take the lead. It is the more prudent decision for us to navigate these woods.
So long as navigation remains our goal for the moment, fine. If not, there are likely other ways to draw this beast out. And he sort of raises the torch that is in one of his hands, and then with his other pats something that's not usually attached in place of where his lance often goes. There is a heavy axe.
And what exactly are you suggesting?
This is a creature of the forest.
And you are going to cut
Chop down a tree.
the trees? All
And
of them?
Burn its home until it comes to find us.
Please don't. Please don't burn the trees, Roland.
If it makes itself known, there
Roland!
will be no need for such things.
Roland, please don't burn the trees.
For that matter, there are very scant resources in this land. These trees are one of them.
And it would certainly be my preference that they remain as they are as well.
They are currently off limits to the townsfolk anyhow. There would be no loss to them. If it
It
shows
would be
itself.
lost to the lords of this land.
Everyone stop. We are going into something's home. We are not going to start the negotiations by burning its home to the ground.
Not if it shows itself.
Roland, stop.
Roland is very clearly, maybe not to Saeed because this is clearly a touch point for her. Roland is aware of that, but he is speaking to his surroundings when he says all this.
She is very much shaking and not in a good state of mind.
Before we continue any further, Roland, remove your helm for a second.
Pourquoi?
Zorion kind of rides next to him for a moment, looks over at him, and says, "Remove your helm." With Dominate.
Difficulty equal to my willpower?
Yeah.
So you're diff 7. Much easier to do this when I'm not frenzying.
Would my persuasive aspect apply here?
You guys get all your social specs on me.
4 successes.
Roland pulls his bucket helm off of his head. Eyes locked with Zorion's.
Now that your peripheral has returned, regard what your words do to your ward.
We will have words about this later.
Of course we will. He smiles politely and then kind of starts falling back to allow Roland to be in the lead.
Saeed, I apologize for poor memories. But I will not allow this thing to stand. And if it will not make itself known to us, we must make it.
The things that live in the woods aren't monsters even if you don't understand them, Roland.
It took children, that remains to be seen.
So did my mother.
There are many ways to extract wine from a jug. The worst of them is to smash it on the ground.
It depends on how thirsty you are.
I'm going
He
alone.
starts riding.
Saeed jumps off beyond
absolutely not.
Roll initiative.
15.
Also a 15.
Okay.
Your dex.
9, so.
My dex is a 4.
My dex is a 6.
Roland, you sense a sudden shift of weight on the horse as your charge seems ready to leap right off.
An arm that was sort of casually helping to keep her in place tightens into a lock around her waist, and he urges Violentue to just continue riding forward.
This will constitute a grappling roll.
I will attempt to break the grapple.
Hell yeah.
You have a couple choices. Mm-hmm. You may attempt to break the grapple on your turn, or you may attempt to dodge him getting a grasp on you.
She'll attempt to dodge.
Dex athletics.
Do you have any penalties to your heavy armor?
I do. I am actually a -3 dice. Do I have
does-
any bonuses for already touching her?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, that's fair.
Does her dex spec of nimble come into play?
Sure.
4 successes.
Same.
Okay. Roland goes to establish a grasp on you, and Saeed leaps out of the way. Give me a Dex Athletics check to see how your landing goes. Mind any flaws, and we'll go to initiative 9.
I only move at half movement speed for odd gate. Does not affect my dex or
Nope, you're good.
athletics. 3 successes.
All right. With 3 successes, you land on your feet.
She looks back at Roland and says, "I'm not bringing another wicked man to another woods."
At the sound of this scuffle, there is an uproar from the forest. Branches shake. 1,000 screeches echo through the wood. And what seems like a vast army of bats erupts from the forest, taking to the skies in this deafening, screeching crescendo.
I'm guessing I might have to make a ride check to calm my horse.
If you're on a horse, I need a ride check because they did not fucking like that.
Can I just use animalism?
No. You use animalism to calm it down if it gets upset, but this is to just maintain control of the situation.
Is this going off of Dex?
Is Dex ride?
May I use manipulation ride to try and calm my horse?
Stuff like that would be after it panics. This is just the initial
Hold on.
Understood.
bucking of the horse.
Because of my horse affinity, I am at -2 difficulty.
The normal difficulty for this is 6.
Does my Dex spec of light touch apply?
It does not.
Zorion has 2 successes.
1 success.
Violentio and I have 6 successes.
1 success.
The horses definitely seem disconcerted by what just happened, but you maintain control and are able to press on.
Catrinel lets her hand fall off from Alexios, reaching out towards the dark. And there's a pause, a slight curl in of the fingertips as she hears this rush of bats like a waterfall. Likely not seeing it as she had cast her senses farther up the road, but trees are sacred to my people, Saif. Please just switch with me. I'll dig my elbows into Roland's back.
Saif looks torn. All she wants is just there to not be fire. And this doesn't get her what she wants. But in perhaps a growing up moment, she acknowledges that nothing in this moment can get her what she wants. She moves her eyes to Catrinel and gives a nod, a very tight one, and takes a moment to flex and point her bad leg, and then starts hobbling over to Alexios' horse.
Catrinel keeps reaching for you, hoping to find your hand.
Saif will put her hand out.
Catrinel takes it, and though she does not see you, she dips her head to you. I'm glad you won't be alone. And she takes the moment to slip down from the horse with your help.
Do you need help getting over to him?
She flicks her senses back in the moment just to get a sense of where it's at, but she lets out that soft hum, and she seems to have confidence that Vion 2 is a large enough obstacle that she'll be able to find it.
Roland extends his hands down to when Catrinel is nearby.
Catrinel takes your hand very delicately and with all decorum, and then immediately flips her hair directly into your face and mouth, as if settling herself.
There is a look as she is pulled up of Roland looking guilty, like he was so focused on quest, mission, save children, defeat evil, that he was not considering the historical ramifications of what his actions paralleled for Saif. Not that he wouldn't do it, but he didn't consider it, and that's the part that he feels guilty about. That look is there, and then when Catrinel's hair falls from Roland's face, the look is gone and disappears as he puts his helmet back on. Just full night again, and Roland disappears behind the helmet.
She settles back against you, seeming ready to fulfill her promise that her elbows will find your sternum should you not behave.
From the back of the group riding, an ugly tune strums out for a second. And Zorion begins playing a little bit of a sad kind of folk tune. and gently sings a few lines in Spanish. Arbolé lloran por lluvias y montaña por aire, así lloran los míos por ti, que diamante. Well, considering how loud we are, even if I was not to play, whatever is in this woods would hear us coming from a mile away.
They know we're here.
Good.
So let us try to enjoy the ride a little bit. This song is called The Trees Cry for Rain. And he continues to play as they ride.
As Alexios leads the group, pressing deeper into the woods, Catrinel, you sense something. Though your senses are expanded to reach past the trees that lie directly before you, you begin to notice nature behaving in odd ways. The brush, the trees, the little spaces beyond your line of sight, your natural line of sight, get up and move. Trees rearrange, branches lean down, blocking your paths and slowing your approach more and more. That sickness that you sensed at the edge of the woods grows much worse here, and you find yourself drawing closer to this blind spot, this ethereal rift that sort of exists between this world and another. You don't know exactly what to expect. You know that you're drawing close. And it's around then, the track, the wind, the breeze, the little details of the forest seem to shift, intent on leading the group of you astray. I need a survival check from Alexios as the forest attempts to twist his perceptions and get him lost.
Might I be able to help him by calling out to him that the forest is moving?
If it is your intention to help, show me how you do it, and whether or not I deem it helpful, I will allow it to be of use.
Roland, bring us up to Alexios now.
Roland does so without question and canters over to ride right alongside Alexios.
Pitching her voice very quietly, hoping that whatever strange forces at work might not overhear her, Catrinel says to Alexios, "We're close. It's moving.
What's moving?
The woods."
Disconcerting. Can you tell me where they're moving to block us from?
I'll put it to you this way. When Alexios looks a certain way, trees uproot and quietly tiptoe around as to interpose themselves on his path.
When you're looking over, they're moving to block you. That one over there with the dead moss along the side of it, it used to be to your right.
So, it sounds like we should press on through the most difficult path.
They'll try to mislead you.
Well, keep me informed and we'll make do.
Or navigate by the stars.
Tim?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you roll a perception plus survival roll. I'm going to reduce the difficulty down to 8.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to spend a willpower on this.
Whatever forces are at work here, they have turned nature against you.
I will take 3 successes.
Is that including the willpower?
Oh, 4 successes.
Nice.
Okay. You maneuver about even climbing a tree when you have to. But you find the way forward. And it isn't long before you reach this sort of creek where cold, fresh water flows. But looking into it with your eyes and blessed ability to see in the dark, the gift of Cain, you can see that just below the surface of the creek, the water undulates with the presence of leeches everywhere, thick and hungry. Insects become plentiful here and are ravenous, and they draw in towards your horses.
Looks like this is not good. Seems to be a bunch of leeches in the water here and a horde of insects.
Whatever's going on inside of there, I can't see.
Catrinel, what's the name of a bird spirit? One of those of your faith.
I suppose you could look to someone like Barkut, Eagle Spirit. Why?
Because I'm going to try honoring them to see if they'll help us. Saeed doesn't wait. She just takes a little vial of wine that she carries at her belt and begins murmuring prayers to Barkut and to a figure known as Bav, and she mentions the phrase, the watcher at the ford. And she pours the wine out. Spirits, please come and protect the land that is yours, the water that you guide. Protect those that honor it. It may not do a thing, but...
Catrinel still seems to take a second to commit herself in appreciation of your prayer, her eyes falling skyward. Even if her senses may not follow, it seems familiar in her habits that when she would give such an honor, it would be towards the sky.
Can we gather closer together?
It seems wise.
Catrinel, your view becomes shattered like the parts of a mirror as to and from the various points of the woods that you're able to perceive become melded and mixed, and everything grows increasingly confusing. It's around then that across the creek, behind a thick pine, a figure tilts its head out from behind the tree. The figure is immensely tall, too tall for a human in this day and age, standing at nearly 6 feet and 8 inches tall. And its figure is slender, wiry, with this sort of olive greenish skin, high cheekbones, piercing eyes, one that is lit like the setting sun, and the other sick and glowing with a baleful green light. This male figure is beautiful to behold, unnaturally so. But there is a wrongness, as parts of him are covered in scales, dark green, almost blackish. Sections of his visage are twisted and unnatural, like he is a thing of the summer and the sun, a Zemu, dragon-blooded thing, but also is in the midst of a sort of transformation. That his connection to the land is causing him to become something else. And Catrinel, from him you can sense Kupala's power. And this beautiful, elegant, and aloof being speaks to address the six of you. This is not a refuge for all of you. Why are you here?
Did you mean to say 5 of us?
I meant to say 6.
Interesting.
From Roland's horse comes a look of recognition to this being whose truth is not terribly unlike its own.
Now, Catrinel does have the concentration merit, which could let her shut out distractions, but I'm not getting the impression that that might help the shattering effect as
No,
much.
it is warping time and space around it.
Then in that case, I will end the effect of my Coldinism so that I can focus. Roland, you do notice before this that there's that, like, the shivers up her spine, like the oncoming of a terrible, terrible migraine, and that crunch in her posture. She leans back into you as if recoiling, but she seems better after a moment.
We've come looking for some of the missing. We don't mean to linger.
You have come unbidden. I am the lord of these lands, and you are not welcome.
We'll take our leave as soon as possible.
Then goodbye. It turns to start leaving.
Please wait. Do you...
When he turns to look back at you, there are now these sort of horns that grow from his forehead. One broken and one still long and pointed, sort of going up the side of his head.
Do you wish for this change that's overcoming you?
I am what I am. I am change.
You are not always as you are.
You would be an arrogant fool to presume to know what I am or was.
I can see something in you, though. Something that would seek to warp me, too.
You make 2 mistakes. Do not make a third.
Catrinel is not much in the habit of shutting up at this sort of statement. But she turns her chin towards Saïv, granting Saïv her silence, not this man.
It seems very, not in the mood to be told what's wrong with it.
How much of these woods are your land, for purposes of not encroaching again?
Beware the woods, and that will do. These humans, they have brought harm to my lands, to that which is mine and my responsibility.
I understand that. In my small way, in my small years here. A fraction of yours, I'm sure. But I know what it is to have people come into your home and take.
Zorion begins unbuckling himself from the horseback.
As blood was owed, blood has been taken. There is nothing here that is not mine. Children included.
May I see them?
It kind of regards you suspiciously, like its eyes kind of narrowing.
If I cannot return them, I would like to at least be able to tell their parents they're at peace. And I will not lie to them.
Roll me manipulation plus etiquette.
Does my manipulation spec of innocence give me anything here?
Sure.
And I'll spend a willpower on this. What's the difficulty?
7.
5 successes.
With 5 successes, you do seem to give him the impression that you mean to keep your word. It gives this subtle tilt of the head and says to you, very well. And he murmurs in this language that is like these strange rolls of the tongue, and just, it's very eerie to hear. Clearly not a language made by humans. And he ventures deeper in, and all of those insects and parasites that the group of you had seen seem to fade away, like they were never there. And you were able to cross the creek without being harassed.
We should follow, not close.
Do you intend to continue this diplomacy so meekly?
For the moment.
Zorion nods at that.
I'm going to dismount and help you dismount, and we'll follow along.
Zorion will take an offered hand to help him dismount, if that's...
Roland does not dismount, but sort of shrugs so that his shield is hanging on one arm as he rides.
Catrinel will slip down.
Roland, Sadhbh seems to have a way of speaking with this thing that I think I would anger if I were to attempt the same. We will not forget why we are here, but we will allow her to treat with it first.
I am. But it was speaking to Violentiu, as well as the rest of us. I believe he has earned his place to come.
Sadhbh, you are in the lead. We have your back.
Thank you. Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. Alexios is played by Tim Davis. Catrinel is played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Roland Roncevaux is played by Rob Muirhead. Sadhbh is played by Erika Webb. Zorion de Iruña is played by Garrett Gabbey. Your storyteller is Lex Lopez. The music used in this episode was Don't Look Back by DaniHaDani and Maya Belsitzman. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by White Wolf and Paradox Interactive. Be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you find your podcast. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show at ko-fi.com/pathofnight. Look for us on social media at Path of Night Podcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Cainites.
His ass.
I'll just eat his ass.
But how are you going to deal with him as a vampire?
I mean, I'll know when the time comes.
To be fair, Saeed in Modern Nights New York is 1,000-year-old salubri.
Yep.
Well, an 800-year-old salubri.
Yep.
Like, she'll be fine.
Out there eating ass.
Out there eating ass.
Salubri coming out of the shadow. I'm gonna eat your
I'm
ass.
gonna eat your ass.
Eat your ass.
Hey, kids, want to get your ass eaten?
So there's a gangrel in New Haven you need to meet.
I don't give a shit. I'll make you guys talk to each other's characters. I want Saeed to meet Wynn.
They would be besties. Wynn needs a daughter figure. Saeed needs a mom figure.
If Neil tries to talk to Roland, I'm just gonna pick him up and throw him into the ocean.
Just pick
nope.
him up and shove him under a table.
Fuck you. Someone will walk in like, hey, there's this Malkavian. He has things we need. Shit, well, I haven't seen that.
Did you check the ocean?
I'll be right back, you guys.
Good luck finding him, guys. I don't think he goes here no more.
He ain't real.
Alright, what's Garrett's pack over there?
Get on with the ass eating.